D92 is a specified test, or EN 17411. Okay, this is another test, EN 17411, or ASTM D92, that is a test used to define a fire point. So in Cleveland apparatus, initially the temperature is noted when the oil vapors are burned continuously, at least for 5 seconds, when it is tested in a flash apparatus. Okay, so here temperature is required at which the oil vapors or the vapors of oil are able to burn continuously at least for 5 seconds when it is tested in a flash apparatus, when it is going to be tested in a flash apparatus. So that we call as a particular fire point. And actually this fire point occurs after flash point by 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. Okay, it occurs after 3 to 4 degrees Celsius of that. Okay, it occurs after flash point 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. So this was regarding a particularly fire point. Okay, so this is the most important property what we call about fire point. I hope you have understood this. If you have any query, you can enter into the comment box on of my YouTube channel, and you can add this into that. Okay, now next is a smoke point. Now smoke point, it is an indication of the clean burning quality of the fuel. Okay, where smokes are not produced, means black colored fumes are not produced. So that is the main observation. So smoke point, it is an indication of clean burning quality of the fuel. Now what I'm saying, that smoke point is the indication of clean burning quality of a fuel. It illuminate depends upon the flame dimensions. Okay, the illumination. Okay, so when suppose we have the vapors of that particular flame, and the flame is going to ignite for a particular dimension, this and the illumination of that depends upon flame dimensions. So as like fire point is called as a combustion point. Okay, and uh, as like fire point is called as particularly combustion point, smoke point is also known as burning point. Now the smoke point is that point at which, or it is that temperature at which the oils or at least fats will produce bluish colored smoke when it is clearly visible. It will produce bluish color smoke when it is clearly visible, and it is totally dependent upon specific and defined conditions. Okay, and it is uh, specifically depend upon specific and defining conditions, so that we call as a smoke point. So what is smoke point? Smoke point, it is that burning point or a temperature at which either oils or fats begins to produce continuous bluish colored smoke, which will become clearly visible. Okay, clearly visible when it is burning, and it depends upon specific and defined condition. Okay, and it is dependent upon specific and defined conditions of that. So it depends upon specific and defined conditions of that one. So many paraffins are there which has consist of better flame height but poor illumination. So they have very less smoke point. Okay, they have very less smoke point. Many paraffins better flame height have better flame height but very poor illumination characteristics. That's why it is defined as a maximum flame height in mm at which the given oil will burn without giving any kind of small smoke, also without causing any kinds of fumes. Okay, which are black colored fumes, especially clear. So that is called as smoke point. So you can say in case of cleavage apparatus, as like in a jar. Okay, when the oil is kept at the bottom side, then it is going to form a flame, and the height of the flame is measured in terms of mm, and it is the maximum flame height in mm at which given oil will burn without giving any kind of the smoke. Okay, at which the given oil will burn without giving any kind of the smokes. So different flame heights are obtained due to the presence of different components. Clear? Different flame heights are obtained due to the presence of different components. So the flames may be of different components, such as paraffins, then various naphthens and various kinds of aromatics that can be utilized over that particular considerations. Various kinds of aromatics that can be used. So actually aromatics gives high smoke because the removal of aromatics increases the smoke point. Okay, so as I told, they are going to give the high smokes. They are going to give the high smokes, and the removal of aromatics increases the smoke point. So that is another important property that we need to measure. So in India, the smoke point or the flame height for kerosene, okay, that is kerosene, what we call as a rocket in Marathi, that is 18 mm. Okay, that is about 18 mm. This is as per IP7. So as per Indian Petroleum Standard, IP57 is the test that is used to measure the smoke point. IP57 is the test that is used to measure the smoke point along with that consideration. So aromatics gives more smoke, hence the removal of aromatics is going to increase with the smoke point. So Indian, okay, so recommended value for in Indian Express is about 18 mm, is about 18 mm in case of kerosene. Okay, is about 18 mm in case of, okay, so that is regarding that considerations of that. Now we will move to the next, that is volatility. Volatility, everyone is aware about the volatility. Minimum is the boiling point, higher is the volatility of the natures, correct? Now, the nature of distillation is depend upon ASTM D86, okay, which is the important characteristics, what we call as the burning characteristics of the fuel. Now, in this measuring test of the volatility, the percent of distillation is characterized with the burning of the data, and it is measured as per ASTM D86 test. It is measured as per ASTM D86 test of that. And this is one of the important aspects what we have, which has been to be received for that particular applications. Okay, so the nature of distillation range estimated is the ASTM D86, okay, which is for a burning characteristics that has been obtained for that. So 10% of the boiling point reveals that the flash point with ease of ignition is there. Okay, if the 10% of boiling point is there, then that reels the flash point with ease of ignitions of that. So that is important under that particular consideration. Okay, we call as a 10-point boiling point, which is revealing with the flash point. Now, mid-boiling range contribute toward the viscosity, right? Now, mid-boiling range, we are assigned that is naphthenic based fluids, okay? Especially the naphthenic based fluids contribute to the mid-boiling range, and that contribute toward the viscosity of that particular fluid, okay? Now, generally here to measure the volatility, 60% of distillation occurs at 200 degrees Celsius with the help of steady performance in case of any heater. Okay, with the help of any steady performance in case of any heater. Okay, steady performance in case of any heater, and minimum 15% of distillation at this temperature gives the adequate volatility. Okay, so generally 15% of distillation is the important property at this temperature, which is going to give the adequate volatility that will be present in that particular part of calculations of that. Okay, so this was regarding particularly volatility of that. If you have the any query related to that, you can post it into the Google. Okay, you can post it on particularly the chat box or comment box available on our YouTube channel. Okay, I hope you have understood these particular properties, like is flash point, fire point, next was the smoke point, and another was volatility component, which plays the significant role in this component. Okay, so in the next class we are able to see some further important properties like uh, burning quality, diesel fuel, pour point, aniline point, viscosity. Okay, these are some important properties of that. Okay, there are certain properties that we need to discuss it. So these are the various properties of a particular uh, fuel oil, you can say petroleum fractions, which describes the specification, gives the specification. Out of that, flash point, fire point, density, pour point, cloud point are most important under that considerations. Clear with this? Okay, so this was for today's online class. Okay, so we will stop it here. Thank you for listening patiently with this particular content of that one. Okay.